Hello, hello, hello. Lieutenant Dan here. I am going to be starting a new game as requested by a couple individuals. I'll show you guys how I got to where I'm at on my save. So let's do it. We're gonna go in survival. There is that other mode, relaxed, but I like the aliens, so let's do this.
While running the desert marathon on the fourth day, you get caught in a sudden sandstorm right in between two checkpoints. Following the track becomes impossible, and you soon get lost in a cloud of dust and sand. Blinded by the wind, breathing with difficulty, the sun setting in a direction you can't tell, you start wondering if you'll make it alive, if you'll survive the desert.
Alright. In the beginning, there is an invisible wall. You can try to explore out here before you actually start the game, but it doesn't let you. So you can only go about 10 or 20 meters back this way, and then it'll cut you off right at the edge of this dune, I believe. Yep, so there's the invisible wall. You can't really explore anywhere until you go in that starting building. So that's what we're gonna do. This is a very powerful sandstorm. So strong, in fact, to teleport us to a new planet. The building just makes me feel small. Just looking at it, it just looks oversized. The carpet, the barrels, the shelf, the high windows, everything. It looks oversized. Now, I am currently on day 76 on my save, so I'm going to try to run through this as quickly as possible while still explaining everything. So right off the bat, you're going to start in this building. It wants you to go forward. As you can see there, the yucca plant and the tree in the distance. That's the way the game wants you to take. However, if you so choose to, there is another oasis directly over that sand dune. But we're going to take the way the game intended us to go first. Picking up all the stones and sticks that we see. It was a very useful early game. Right, so now that we got 2 stones, we're going to press C, go to our crafting. We're going to craft our crude knife to get us started here. Pick up the extra stones around here. Alright, yucca plants. Yuccas give you 4 stems, 3 stems and 4 sticks, I believe. Four stems and 3 sticks. With those stems, we can make cordage. It requires 2 stem per cordage, and you need cordage to make the crude axe. Once the crude axe is crafting, you can go to your inventory and dismantle the crude knife as you no longer need it. Now right off the bat, to the left, there should be at least 1, possibly 2 camels walking off in the distance. So we're going to rush to this tree, chop it down, get the logs, and the frond off the top of it, which can be turned into sticks and stems. And then we're going to run to the oasis and go get some fruit and go get us a camel. That's our first objective, to gather a camel. As you can see, the palm tree gives us 6 logs, and the frond from the top of it's going to give us 5 frond. so that in turn is going to give us 10 stems. But we're going to keep 2 of these bronze whole to build a shelter to save at momentarily. And we're just going to cut up 3 of them. Go ahead and craft that. Now in your inventory you do have a water bottle to start. It's pretty garbage, but it gets you through the hard times in the very beginning. Should be a camel off to the left side somewhere. I found them 3 saves in a row, so we're gonna cross our fingers and hope they're there this time too. Currently there's no free look button, that's why I'm jumping and turning, so I can look without changing the direction I'm running. Maybe it's not going to give us a camel this time. That's going to be rough. Oh, there we go. See those 2 camels there in the distance? We're going to rush down here and refill this water bottle and grab some fruit and make our way to that back camel. There's also an antelope there. Antelope type creature. I'm not sure of the technical name. This is a different planet. This is not Earth. Now you do get an achievement if you drink too much water. So if you just want to stand here and drink the water for a couple minutes, I think it's 4 or 5 drinks after you fill up your meter, you should get an achievement for over drinking. It won't hurt you, so don't worry about that. You can climb the trees. The date palms are the easiest to climb. Coconut trees don't work so well because of the angle they're at, and they're kind of crooked. So climbing them is a little bit difficult. It is possible, it's just very difficult to do. To get the coconuts out of the trees, you can climb it to pick them out, or you can just cut the tree down and they'll fall to the ground. Same with the date trees, mangoes, bananas, etc. Everything will just fall to the ground when the plant comes down. I don't recommend cutting your fruit trees down, your mangoes, bananas, etc. because the fruit just grows back so much faster than the tree does itself. You need 2 pieces of fruit to tame the camels. They do not eat meat, raw or cooked. They only eat fruit. Every date tree, when you harvest out of the top of it, gives you 2 dates. So we just fed him 1. Now we have the other. Feed him 2 pieces and he will become ours. And then you need to keep feeding him. The camels don't care about you or anything that you do. They only care about your food. They see you as a food source, and when you don't feed them, the food source has deplenished and they will move on to the next one. If you have a camel bag on them to increase your inventory, the moment they leave you, everything in that bag will explode at your feet, and the camel will become wild again. You'll have to retame him. It's a major pain. But once you start feeding them, they don't wander off too far. They'll probably take 6 or 7 steps and then stop. They don't like going too far from you because you are the new food source. It'll tell you in the bottom right of your screen, your camel is hungry when it's time to feed him. It's very important to keep your eye on that, or just check him periodically, because they will walk off. It's important to keep your eye on these down here in the bottom left. This red sun means I'm taking sun damage. My temperature is flashing, so that's also an indicator that I'm taking sun damage. It's important to keep your water and your food full, because the more full those meters are, the faster your health will regen. If those meters are low, your health will not regen, nor will your stamina. It's a good indicator you need to take a drink or eat some food is when you're running, and your stamina stops coming back. Check your food and water. Come on, camel, we're trying to make a video here. You're just delaying the process. This is the first oasis. I don't usually spend too much time at this oasis. It's pretty useless. Just got dates and coconuts. Now that we've got the camel tamed, we're gonna head directly to the second oasis. Second thought, I'm gonna grab a couple stones from this oasis while we're here, so I don't have to make a trip back to gather it. I'll need a pickaxe, which costs 2 stick, 2 stone, and 2 cordage. Right, so my temperature is getting pretty dangerously high. It's at 115 degrees, so we need to cool off pretty quickly. So the best way to do that is to just jump into the water. And as you can see, it's rapidly dropping. It's already down to 103, 102. So the water is a rapid way to cool off. Alternatively, you could harvest a bunch of stems and craft a straw hat for sun protection, the turban, the long shirt, and the long pants for sun protection. That will help you. Oop, I'm drowning. That's not good. Alright, 89 degrees, that's good enough. Let's get some more resources here. Stems and sticks mainly is what I'm looking for, along with the stone. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, so I did not get poisoned, as you can see. I don't have a poison symbol here, which is very lucky for me, because these things will poison you. So if you get stung by a scorpion, most times, almost every time, it will poison you, and it will continuously damage you until you get an antidote. So to craft an antidote, you just need desert fruit and the stinger of a scorpion. So when you step on it, kill it, take its stinger, go grab a desert fruit and craft yourself an antidote and get that poison out of your system, or it will kill you. Scorpions are easy to spot at night. During the day, they can be a pain to see. But if you just pay attention, you'll see them moving. But at nighttime, they glow. They have lights on them that glow. Oh, there's another one. Goodness. I'm gonna go ahead and craft my bow and arrow, because when we get to the second oasis up here in front of us, there's going to be quite a few antelope there. And we're going to want to use their meat and leather to craft some leather canteens and other necessary items. So to get to the second oasis from this first starting oasis, what you want to do is look for this rock up here, this pillar rock. Head directly towards this pillar rock. It's actually to the northeast of the starting oasis, but you won't know that in the start, so just head towards the big rock, and it will lead you to yet another big rock. Boom, that direction. Now when you get to the second rock, you just kind of run forward, and off in the distance you'll see the corner of a ruin. That's our destination. And there's an oasis off to the left side as well, but we're going to make our way to that ruin right off the bat. You see that corner right there of that building? That's where we're headed to. Watch out for the hyenas. If you get too close to them, they will aggro you, especially when you're on foot. On the camel, though, they're pretty easy to get to leave you alone. They don't like to pursue you too much, so if you just run away from them, they'll usually stop following you after about 10 feet or so. It's too hot to chase you. Well, there are a couple scorpions in this ruin, so you want to keep your eyes on the ground when you go in. We're going to park our camel up here at the front entrance. There's one of them. Thank you. There he is. See the you see the yellow on him? It really glows in the night. They really stand out at nighttime. No, don't stab me. Die. He almost got me. That was a close one. Keep your eye on your water meter. You don't want to die of thirst. So that's the concoction recipe. That's your health potion. And that's going to be in this first ruin we come to. The very first ruin in this base. Alright, now I'm at a tear between because I have limited inventory space. So I'm going to go ahead and break these into stems. And then we're going to craft those into rope. And that frees up that inventory space. So, excellent. Now we can take these planks, because they're going to be very essential. And we want this cloth as well. So I'm just going to drop this water bottle because it's empty. And I'm going to be crafting a leather canteen at the next oasis in about 2 minutes. So we just picked up an artifact. There are 4 artifacts you need to find. Each one comes in this little video. I'm going to mute my mic while the video plays. Enjoy.
It never started. It was always there. A menace from below, as old as our desert. Here, thirst and hunger drive all creatures. But them, they crave blood and flesh. We learned to coexist, fighting. We fought for millennia. They would never stop. They needed us to feed. And the more they fed, the more their number would grow, endangering the very existence of our kind.
Alright, so from the front of this ruin, when you walk out that front door right there, you're going to run towards the edge of the corner here. The right side, or left side rather. And then you're going to go out this way. And there is the second oasis. We'll spend a little bit more time at the second oasis than we did the first oasis. But this is not where I want to set up my base. So we won't be spending too many days here. We'll maybe spend 7 or 8 days at this oasis, but no more than that. And that's a maybe. That all depends on how long it takes us to get inside the pyramid. Well, that's wonderful. It gave me 1 arrow. So we're just going to craft up some arrows real quick. Takes 2 arrows to drop these antelope deer things, whatever you want to call them. You can chase them on the camel and shoot them from your camel. Well, that one didn't work. Neither did that one. What is going on with these arrows? Oh, wow. If one of these arrows kills him, I'm going to be very impressed. Alright, so we're just going to let him stop running. They only run for about 20 feet and then they stop, so they don't run too far. And I'm not the best shot with this bow and arrow. Oh man, my inventory is full to the brim. That's not good. Well, tell you what we can do. Now, each one of those antelope deer things that you kill will give you 2 to 3 pieces of meat and 2 to 3 pieces of leather. Ooh, sorry about that. Okay, so each antelope deer thing you kill will give you 2 to 3 pieces of meat and 2 to 3 pieces of leather. That's about the gist of it. They don't have anything else other than that. Now, as you can see, my water was empty and my food is also empty, so I need to grab some fruits to eat ASAP. So I'm just going to drop my tool right here by the water so I know where it's at and I can pick it up. And I'm just going to gather some of these mangoes. There are 3 mango trees at this oasis. There's one over there, one over here, and one over there. And I'm going to eat all of them. Actually, I'm going to save that last one for my camel. You know, because they get hungry too. And like I said, if you don't feed them, they will walk off and find their food elsewhere. Alright. Now, we need to harvest some plants here. So I'm going to drop this mango. Pick up my axe. And harvest this canipa plant to get some stems. So I can make a box. We need a box to put some stuff in, because we have no inventory space. It really does hinder things, especially early game. The limited inventory really is a pain in the rear. Excellent. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that axe. Oop. Drop the axe. Pick up the stems. And we're gonna see if we can craft a storage box. Oh, inventory is full. That's okay. Right where we dropped the axe, we're gonna drop our pickaxe. Craft the wooden box. Now, it's important that you don't fill up your inventory. Do not pick anything up while you only have 1 inventory space and you're crafting something. Because if you don't have the room to place it, when it's done crafting, it will just not craft. The smaller things, it'll drop them on the ground. But these larger things, such as a shelter, turret, campfire, marker, all these things will not fit in your inventory. So when they craft and you don't have space, they just don't spawn. They disappear and you lose your resources. You don't get them back, and that's kind of a bummer. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I'm warning you about that now. so it won't be a problem for you. Alright, so now we've got a box crafted. We're just going to dump our stone in there, our planks, and our cloth, along with the stems, and the poison stingers. Excellent. We'll go pick up our 2 tools, pickaxe and crude axe. We're going to go ahead and chop this tree up, since we've got it down. I believe it was a palm tree, so it should give us 6 logs. So you want to place a shelter to save the game and skip the night cycle, because the night cycle can be very deadly. You will freeze to death if you don't start a fire and stay beside your fire to stay warm. So I just don't like playing at night at all. It's much easier to stay alive during the day. So at night you can just build a shelter and go to sleep and skip the night cycle completely. You can get everything you need to craft a shelter, the 3 logs, 2 frond, and 3 cordage from 1 tree. It'll give you 5 frond. If you pick up 2 of them and chop the other 3 into stems, you can turn that into cordage, and you can cut the trunk up and get at least 3 logs out of every tree. So you can make 1 shelter per tree you cut down. Don't forget to check your camel to feed him, because like I said 100 times, if you don't feed him, he will walk off. And we don't want him to leave us. He's our best friend at this point. It's the only thing alive that's not trying to kill us or run from us. Right, so those are canopy plants. They drop the leaf bud and hemp, and 1 stem per plant. You can turn the hemp into cloth, the stem into string, and the leaf bud is for use at a later time, which we will discuss when we get there. But for now I'm going to go ahead and put the hemp in the box. I don't really need it right this second. I don't have enough of it. You need 4 hemp to make 1 cloth, and we need 5 cloth for a camel saddle bag. So we don't have enough hemp yet to do that. So we're just going to stockpile it in the storage box until we do have enough. Actually I don't need that yucca tree. What I do need is the clay ore that is up here. I'm just going to try to get this ore, both of these ores, before I skip the night cycle. That way it counts as time towards the respawn of the ore. That's the recommended way to do it. You don't have to do it that way. You can do it whatever way you want to. But that's the way I recommend to do it. Also, you'll notice I'm kind of blocking the sand off right here. I'm going to block it from that water edge to this water edge, so everything behind it will be a safe zone from the scolomorphs, which are the aliens that are trying to kill you. They're currently searching for me right now. They haven't found me. Once they find you at your oasis, in the beginning, it's important to relocate to a new oasis so they don't come back and kill you, because they don't come back by themselves, they come back with an army. Every day the number grows, and they will not forget where you're at. So it's important when they find you, if you move to a new oasis, they'll have to start looking for you again, so that lowers the number of scolomorphs that are looking for you. The number does increase by default, depending on what day you're on. So later game it won't really be as essential or as important as it is early game to move around. I'm just going to drop my last arrow and take that leather. So I've got 3 more arrows on my hotbar. There we go. Consolidate. So we need just a little bit more leather here to make a canteen before I feel comfortable leaving this oasis. I don't want to leave without a water source, and I don't really trust pineapples that much, so they are great when you're in a pinch and you need it and you don't have anything else, but they're not something to rely on. Right, so my temperature is dropping. It's now at 48 degrees. I'm about to start taking cold damage, so before I do that, before I take cold damage, I'm going to save my game, and then I'm going to skip to day. I recommend saving before you sleep, because I have had a couple instances when I skipped night, and when I loaded back up the next morning, it was just a black screen, and I had to reload. So I recommend saving before you sleep, because you never know what could happen in an early access game. Morning of day 2. Alright. Let's do it. So first thing we're going to do is check our water and our food. I already know I'm going to need it, so I'm just going to fill up on water. And mangoes ain't back yet. So the next best thing... Okay, camel does not need food either. The next best thing, if you don't have mangoes, is the dates. It takes 8 dates to take your food bar from empty to full. Takes much more coconuts than dates. Are there really no date trees at this oasis? I don't remember. My goodness. Okay, there's no dates. So what we'll do is we'll make a campfire, we'll kill something and cook it. 'Cause that's how we roll. Stones and sticks, which I just put in the chest. Stones and sticks. Probably gonna need more sticks. I do. So what I do when I need sticks and I don't have them around, you could just drop a couple logs and chop those up. Each log will give you 4 sticks, which will be more than enough to make this campfire. Takes 5 wax with the crude axe to chop it into sticks. Each frond gives you 2 stems, each log gives you 4 sticks. So we're going to go ahead and craft that campfire, and we're going to go ahead and craft a loom as well, so we can turn this hemp into cloth. Really, camel? Really? Alright, we didn't pick up the meat from that antelope that we killed a minute ago, so we'll go and get that now. If it's still there. Actually, I don't think it will still be there. They do despawn rather quickly. I think it's 1, possibly 2 minutes, and then they despawn. I'm just about to find new deer. We're gonna need food really quick. Of course, we could always head back to the first oasis and grab some dates, but I was trying to avoid going back to that first oasis, if at all possible. But it looks like that's going to be what we end up doing. My loom is ready to place. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that real quick. I expect we'll see a Scolomorph at the end of day 2, beginning of day 3. Somewhere in that time frame. Usually when they decide to surface for the first time. But if we are one step ahead and we just keep moving, then they won't be able to find us. I really want to cut these down and get the hemp, get that regrow process started. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and chop those on down. Now you'll notice I'm not picking up the leaf bud just yet. I guess I could go ahead and pick it up and stick it in the chest if there's room. If not, I'll just drop it on the ground near the chest and it can despawn. It's not so important this early of the game to start stockpiling that, as it is readily available later game, and we'll discuss that more when we get there. More than likely tomorrow in a live stream at about 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we're just going to head back to that first oasis to gather some dates to eat real quick, so we don't starve, as our food is getting dangerously low. And I'm really not convinced I'm heading the right direction here. Okay, there we go. There's the ruin. We're going to head back towards the ruin's general direction and look for that starting stone, is what I refer to them as, the 2 starting stones. That's the pillar-like stones that led us to the second oasis and the ruin from the first oasis. Those are going to be our guiding stones early game, and that's going to keep us on track. So it's right up here over this ridge. That's where we're heading to. And as you can see, this is why the camel is so important. Its stamina bar drains so much slower than yours, and it moves an incredible amount faster. It's just way more efficient to use a camel early game. And if you follow my guide, you can get your camel on day 1 like I did, right after you approach your first oasis. Should have put that artifact in the chest at that second oasis, but it's still in my inventory, so we'll just hang on to it for now. Now we're not going to have room to pick up food when we get there, so I'm going to go ahead and drop that leaf spud. It's not really essential at this point in the game. We are taking health damage now, as you can see, from our food being so low. So that's why it's very important to stay on top of your food and water meter and make sure they don't drop too low at any point, because if they do get low, you will either starve or dehydrate to death. I apologize if you can hear my dogs in the background. I do have 3 dogs and 5 parakeets. So at some point there may be some background noise. Now, as you can see, the trees can be a pain to climb. The devs are working on getting that patched up and fixed where you can properly climb trees. But currently, if you're having problems climbing the trees, you can always cut it down. Just cut the whole damn tree down and get the fruits that way. They will fall to the ground when you chop it. Now that we got our food meter full, we're going to go ahead and top up on health here. Or water, I mean. To get that health regenerating. Again, the fastest way to cool down is to jump in the water. So we're going to sit in this water until either we run out of oxygen or our core temperature gets to about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright. So now that our temperature's down, our water's full, and our food's full, we're just going to grab some extra fruit here from the rest of these date palms, and we're going to head back to our second oasis. These trees were easier to climb. This would be a much better guide. You know what? I'm not going to fool with it. Right, so we're taking damage because our heat is so high, it's at 120 degrees Fahrenheit. That's deadly temperature, so we need to get in the water ASAP before our brain boils. It's the best way to describe what will happen if you don't cool off. Alright, now that we've got some fruit, water, and food seems to be alright for now, we're gonna head back to where we came from. Now, if you remember, we head towards the first starting stone, which leads us to the second starting stone, which can lead us directly to the oasis. Now that I've got all those stems, I'm going to go ahead and craft a hat. You only need 4 stems, or 4 strings, I believe, to craft the hat. So once you get that hat crafted, go ahead and throw it on, and that's going to help you with that deadly sun up there. Come on now. Excellent. Now, as you can see, our temperature is dropping. It was up at 120. It's currently dropping. It's at 113 and still going down, as indicated by the blue arrow at the bottom. I'm not exactly sure what temperature the hat keeps you at, because I usually don't wear it too much. Late game, it's not too important to have the hat. We'll talk a little bit more about that probably tomorrow. Right, so that's the second starting stone back there. I'm just going to run to the top of this dune, and I should be able to see the oasis. There we go. Alternatively, you could run to the ruin, go to that left side corner, and go out from the corner, like I showed you when we first got here. But once you're more familiar with the map, it'll make more sense to just run straight to the oasis. Important to check your camel, make sure he doesn't want to eat. Alright. No. So he's glitched. I don't know if I'll be able to access his inventory, because he's on the water edge. No, and I need that leather. Well, that's a bummer. That's okay. Where there's one, there will be more. Generally, I find them over this hill right here. Walking down towards the water. You can tell which side I'm on by looking at the rock structure with that water marker rock on it, which is that big tall rock right there. It's not a starting rock, they're nowhere near as tall as the starting stones, but those rocks indicate where a good source of water may be. So you will find a water well. If you choose to not base at an oasis and you want to base somewhere else, that's fine. Look for a stone like this, and that will give you good quality water for that water well. You want the good quality water, of course, not bad water. If you get a bad location, then it may take longer to refill the water well. I'm really not sure what the downside of that is. I haven't done that myself, so we'll have to test that sometime. Are you hungry yet, Camel? I don't want you to abandon me. I'm terrible at seeing that message. Okay. So, what was I doing here? How much hemp do we have? 10. That's enough for 2 pieces of cloth. We'll have 4 total. Almost enough for camel bag. Alright, now we should have enough hemp to throw a saddlebag on our camel. So that's what we're going to do real quick. We're just going to gather the hemp out of the box. Into our inventory. Come over here. We'll craft cloths. That'll give us 3 cloth for crafting, plus the 2 that's in our chest. Did it already craft it and throw it on the ground and I missed it? Nope, it's in the box. Excellent. Go to placeables, camel bag. As you can see, it takes 5 cloth and 2 cordage. And you need an open slot in your inventory, of course. Are you hungry, camel? He's not hungry. You're a resilient camel, I like you. Taking a long time to eat. It's a good camel. Once the saddlebag crafts, just look at the camel, it'll turn green. You left click with your mouse, and bada boom, now you've got extra storage. Alternatively, you do want to make a backpack as soon as possible, which will just take 6 leather, 4 cordage, and 3 sticks. It's very easy to do, early game. Just find those antelope deer things, kill them, and get their leather. Alternatively, if you're in a bind, let's say you're out running around and you get lost and you can't find an oasis to get food at and you're about to starve. If you have stones enough to craft a campfire and you have a camel, you can make a campfire, kill your camel and eat it. That is a last resort. I do not recommend it. That is like your car. You wouldn't eat your car. So, I don't recommend killing your camel, but if you're in a pinch and you absolutely have to, it can be done. They give you the same resources that the deer antelopes give you. Which is meat and leather. So now we see our first glimpse of the pyramid. It's glorious, it's beautiful, it's confusing inside. But we're not here for that. We're here for the antelope. We need leather so we can make a backpack. I don't want to stray too far from the oasis, because it is very easy to get lost early game. And I don't want you folks getting lost while watching me play. So we're going to avoid going too far. Now, generally when you see them out and about in the in the wild, they'll be heading towards a water source. So if you just want to stick around your oasis, they will come back to the water source. They won't leave forever. Pretty reliable. About every day they'll wander down there from the same way, same direction they came from the day before that. And I just can't find them right now, so it's almost nighttime. We'll go back to the oasis and see if we can skip this godforsaken day and begin day 3. I am a very impatient person, so I don't like to wait for my stamina to refill all the way. It is very useful. Ooh, what would you look at that? Oh, yes. Okay. So, see, as I said, they will come back to the oasis. Is this their water source? And everything needs water to live, right? Well, everything except for the scotomorphs, apparently. They just feed on my blood. They don't like this animal blood for some reason. They're not vegan. No, they don't like doing things the easy way. Go ahead and take your meat and that leather. And we're gonna go tag your friend too. I'll tell him you said hello. Oh, I missed. That's not good. Alright, so I'm just not gonna chase him and he'll stop running after about 20 feet. And as you can see, I'm not the best archer in this game. Great, now we've got our 6 leather, our 4 cordage, and we just need our 3 sticks, which are in our box. Camel, are you hungry yet? Jeez, I like this camel. Alright, where is our structures? They're over here. We're gonna go ahead and throw this meat in the campfire. We'll split these logs down. There's 4 meats, we'll put about 6 logs in there. We'll go ahead and put 5. Get that cooking. Pick up our pickaxe. Oh, that's our regular axe. How do we drop that and forget it? Good lord. That could have been bad. Alright. Excellent. So now we've got stuff to make the backpack. We're going to go ahead and craft that bad boy up and throw it on our back, and that's going to give us 2 extra rows of inventory slots here. Very good to get on day 1. Oh, I thought we were on day 2. Goodness. So day 1 getting the backpack, that's not a bad start. We've got the straw hat already. And now we've got our 2 extra rows of inventory space. We shouldn't run out of room now anytime soon, which is a good thing. And you know, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I absolutely despise the night cycle on here. It is so hard to stay alive at night. You'd think it'd be harder to stay alive in the desert during the day, but the nighttime is much worse. I don't know how to navigate at night. I tried playing this earlier and starting over for a video, and I tried running around at night and I got absolutely lost. So it looks like a different map at night than it does during the day, I guess. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and save the game and skip the night. Alright, now that we successfully loaded into the next morning, we are going to, first thing, check our food and water. Our water definitely needs attention, and our food will need attention very soon as well. So 3 pieces of cooked meat will fill your food from empty to nearly full. Close enough for me. Excellent. Mangoes are back. That's another positive thing. Remember, there's 3 mango trees, so there's 3 groups of mangoes to gather. The canapa plants and the yucca plants grow back the fastest. Takes about 2 days to grow those back. The trees take about 3 or 4 days to grow back. Unless you use the planter box and fertilizer. Easy, easy. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and grab this clay deposit here. And there's one over there on that rock formation as well. I must have busted it earlier. Excellent. And there's one right here as well. So you can get 15 clay from this oasis. It's a very nice amount to have. Readily available. Clay can be very, very important. We'll get more into detail on that in just a few minutes here. But right now, right off the bat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to craft... Oh, I haven't learned it yet. So, okay. What we're going to do is we're going to get on our camel after we check his food. He does need fed, finally. And we're going to head, from looking at that rock formation on the opposite side of the oasis, you're going to head out the left side of the oasis here. Up towards this triangle-ish sand dune that I'm pointing at. Once you peek this, you will see the pyramid. From here, you want to angle to the right, sort of in between these two dunes here. Oh, darn it. We did not craft a leather canteen or bring coconuts, so we are probably going to dehydrate. So we're going to try to make this a really, really fast trip. Ah, that's what we're looking for over there. That ruin. I really feel like the mango should give you a little bit of thirst back as well, but for now they just give you food. Doesn't make much sense. Mangoes are very juicy. The mangoes I've had are juicy. Maybe not all of them are juicy, I don't know. Alright, so this is the second ruin that we are going to go over in this guide. Walk through, play through, not necessarily walk through. Oh look, we're joined by our friend the Scolomorph. And that's an unfortunate thing to have happen because we don't have enough arrows on us to fight him. I can see there on my hotbar I've only got 5 arrows and it takes 7 arrows to kill one of these guys. So, this is only day 2, my goodness. Can I craft more arrows? Do I? Oh, I do have the stuff to make arrows. You're gonna die, Scolomorph. You're gonna die today. Alright. So 7 arrows to kill these guys. You can fight them on the back of your camel. That'll give you a bit of a movement advantage over them. I guess it's not really recommended to fight him on the camel though, because unless you're better at aiming off the camel than I am. Whoops. Need to pick up some of these arrows here. Need 2 more to hit him with. I'm gonna pick up 4 because, you know, I'm a terrible shot. There we go. 7 arrows to kill him. It's actually good that he found us out here and not at the Oasis. Maybe now they won't find us at the Oasis that we're currently at, since I was out and about when he found us. We'll see how that plays out. I'm really not sure how that mechanic works. So we will just have to see. If they come back with more than 1 tomorrow, then we will know. But back to the ruin that we were here to discuss. If you hop off the camel, you'll see a scorpion here. Scorpions are all over these ruins, so every ruin you come to, be very careful to check the ground. Examine this structure and you get the water well. And then if you follow in here, there should be another scorpion around here somewhere. Anyways, there's a chest here with goodies in it. We'll take that arrow, planks, and clay ingots. There's a scroll here in the box that gives you blue powder, green powder, and red powder, apparently. I found those in the pyramid usually, but okay, we'll roll with that. So I'm really not sure the order that you get the scrolls in, as it does seem to change every playthrough I've done. I find different scrolls in different places. But the one scroll that generally does not change is this one. This one here usually is the trap scroll for me, but I'm going to go ahead and grab this one. Now we got the armor for the head, chest, and leg, and we're going to snag this one. New recipes and build menu. So that should have been the trap recipe right there that we just picked up. So that's good. We got the traps already. That's a great thing to have. There's a scorpion. Are you just chilling, Camel? Is that what it is? Just chilling, huh? That's cool. So anyways, we're gonna head on out from this ruin now that we've got everything here. The water well and the couple scrolls that were here. That's everything you can get, as far as I'm aware. As well as what's in that chest. So now that we got that, we're gonna head back to our oasis. Actually, we don't. Dang. Where is our forge blueprint? I swear I found it by this point in my previous playthroughs. Okay, so what we're going to do is from that ruin... Actually, I need to head back to the oasis to get water. But then we're going to plan another trip as soon as we get back there. We're going to plan to leave and head to the mountains to start preparing for the pyramid. The first stage of the pyramid, to get in, what we'll need is 6 metal ingots and 10 wooden planks. But to craft the ingots, we need to make a trip to the mountains. Did you see that disappear over the hill there? Is that a plant? Okay, it was a plant. Yeah! Look at that. Come here, big guy. We just want your leather. Listen, if I could take it off of you without killing you, I would. But I can't, because, like, you gotta be dead for that, so. Ooh, I am taking water damage. So we're gonna need to rush to get to this oasis. Oh, why are you fighting the antelope? Just accept your fate. I am a terrible archer, guys. I was not lying to you. And in fact, I've just lost all my arrows. So I'm going to give up this pursuit. Grab this last arrow. Take my camel. And you know what? I am going to finish him off real quick. Just to prove a point here. Man is superior to beast. Alright, now we're going to try not to die of thirst. Oh, I don't know if we're going to make it though. This is a bad idea to go for that antelope. I should have just went to the oasis. Oh, goodness, guys. This could be the first time we perish. And lessons will be learned. Afraid so. So if and when I die, I will pick this up tomorrow. There we go. Alright, so we'll try again tomorrow. That's okay. It is a survival game, and you do die from time to time. When you die in this game, it just tells you that the desert claimed you. You click main menu, and generally you just hit load back. But I'm going to call the episode there, as I've got work in the morning, and I will see you guys after work tomorrow. Have a good night.